The Crow is an abysmal movie. The fact that the filmmakers had the gall to put based on the graphic novel by James O. Barr in the opening credits makes the offensiveness of this boring, pointless sludge that much worse. This movie is proof positive that a bad script can bring down a great actor. And that's exactly what this movie did to both Bill Skarsgard and Danny Huston. FKA Twigs was trash, and nothing could help her act better than maybe years of coaching. Years. The film opens with a young boy watching a white horse, presumably his family's, die. This sends him into adulthood, laden with the worst tattoos since Jared Leto's Joker and an angsty bad boy attitude. Why?
I don't know.
He then meets Shelly, who has herself committed because she was carrying drugs in her purse while trying to get away from mobsters who were trying to kill her because she watched video.
What?
That's right. One of her friends sent her a video which apparently shows her something she's not supposed to see, so now the mob is after her.
Okay.
The mob soon discovers that she's in the rehab ward, so Eric decides to rescue her and escape with her. They then go to Shelly's friend's luxury apartment and go on a drug-addled sex bender, which, according to these filmmakers, means they've fallen in love. They continue to do drugs and have sex, which means they're falling more in love, until they're finally discovered at their apartment after FKA Twigs demonstrates that she can sing, and they're choked to death by plastic bags. Their hands are completely free, of course, enough so that they could just tear a hole in the bag so that they could breathe, but the writers of this film are so stupid that the characters must also be stupid, and they just die. This sends Shelly to hell, for reasons, and Eric to purgatory, for more reasons. Why?
I don't know.
Where he then meets some dude who does the exposition of the Crow carrying a soul back to the living when something really bad happens. Now, murder's bad, okay? We can all agree on that. But what happened to Eric and Shelly in this movie is a pillow fight compared to what happened to them in the original film. And we actually got a sense of how in love those characters were. The only thing we know about Eric and Shelly of this movie at this point is that they like to get high and screw each other. So Eric gets to go back. He does some digging around, and he finds out that Shelly murdered somebody while she was under the influence of the main bad guy. Oh, did I tell you about the main bad guy? Well, that's because the movie doesn't either. They just drop him on you with no indication of who he is, what he wants, or why he does what he does. Yes, I know it's so that he can live forever, but why? So Eric dies again after watching Shelly kill somebody because he starts to think he can't be in love with someone who committed murder while under the influence of, like, black magic or something. Like, she obviously didn't voluntarily do this, but that doesn't faze Eric. So he dies and goes back to purgatory, and the guy's like, well, it is what it is. And Eric goes, no, I love her. So the guy goes, okay, and sends him back again so that the movie can have its climax. We get to the climax, which is Eric murking people at an opera, and even though everybody else on the internet is saying that this scene was cool, it wasn't. It was just violence for the sake of violence. Eric, the character, doesn't earn any of this. The choreography is lazy and stupid. Fucking guns get shot off in the library, and everybody in the theater is like, blah, 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 I can only hear singing, nothing's happening. We finally get to the climax, where Danny Huston reveals that he's evil to Eric, tries to mind control him, and sees that Eric sets his trailer on fire with his mother in it. Why?
I don't know.
This breaks Eric from the spell, and he kills Danny. He brings Shelly back. She wakes up on the floor of the apartment where they were killed with one of the paramedics or cops or who gives a shit. This movie's trash. Being the guy Eric sees in purgatory, suggesting that this was all just a fever dream by Shelly.
What?
Is that what we're going for? Well, I mean, I don't actually care. This movie is 2 hours of absolute trash. There is nothing redeeming about this movie. The characters are boring, flat, uninteresting drug addicts who do nothing to endear themselves to the audience. The story, if you can call it that, is a confused mess that honestly feels like it was 3 different scripts just stapled into one long, drawn-out script that nobody else cared enough to read or edit. The imagery? Bland, boring, nothing new, nothing that might have tried to pay homage to the original. Oh, I guess it rains a bit, so that was nice. Actually, no, the rain wasn't nice. I'm not saying a single positive thing about this garbage fire of a movie.